Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Ademola Badmus here. If this is your first time, please like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because as I intend to create more videos. So the intention is to continue from here and just conclude, which I will try to do as fast as possible. So what we want to do here, as the file is to verify an action. Remember that in the last video we have created it and we have configured it by importing it into the index file in the support folder, and all this in this will be seen in the index file because we have imported the command in the commands file. We have tested it in our previous video and it works. So let us do a verification. So in this verification, I will do some things, and the thing that I will do will be particular about identifying an element. So in order to be able to learn more about identifying elements, though I've done a previous video on it, I will add some links in the description that I feel would help with with one of the methods I will use. So with that in mind, let us start. So what we're going to do here is we are going to verify some pages, right? And when we did weights, when we talked about weights, I did show one of the ways where you can judiciously use your command time by waiting out. That's an explicit wait form in Cypress using the should command. So in this case, we are going to use an expect command, which is an implicit form of wait, and you are going to see the syntax of that play out. So what we want to do is essentially this. We want to come here. If we type our iPhone 13 and search, we want to verify that this search text comes out, the iPhone 13 comes out, and this comes out. We will not check this result. We will not check this part because this is volatile. We don't know how many results it will return based on the search. You understand? We can research now and it's still 412. But I think the last time we did the video, it was 410. And now it has changed. So if we try to get this number, we might be getting some flakiness in our results because this cannot be controlled by us. But this will remain constant. Result 4 and iPhone 13. So without further ado, let us identify the element. So I want to identify this. So that is the span that contains it. So all I just need is I want to get this span and identify the text in the span. So one of the ways to check if I will get that span is to come here and write it in an expert checker. In the CSS and expert checker, right? So I wrote the tag name, and as you can see, there are so many span. There are how many matches? 846 matches. So how do I change that? So it means I can go up and check the parent and see what the parent is. The parent is a class. The class is not well formed, so I'm going to try to form it proper. Because it's not well formed by Cypress best practice. If I'm going to pick something like that, it's better I put it in a square bracket and put it this way. But we still have a problem, though our problem has been solved a bit. Before we had 846 matches, now we have 17 matches. So we can decide to now explore again. The parent folder is a div and the children are spans. So we can add a span here. We can add a span by putting this angle brackets and typing span. Now it has returned three matches, so which means we are closer. But we don't need all three. We need this one here and this one here because both of them are the ones that contains the text. So since this one is arranged in a list inside it, so we just navigate through the list by using the nth of type. So let's say maybe the list could be indexed from 0 or it could be indexed from 1. So let's try 0. No matches. Let's try 1. 1 match. So and the match is accurate to what we will need to get the results for. So we can copy this. So let's get that of the other one. So if this one is 1, this should be 2, and this is 3. This should be 3. That's my guess. So let's just test it. 2, I am right. It highlighted this if you noticed. Then let's check. 3, it highlighted this. Right, so we are there. Again, let's see 2. See, it highlighted the thing in the middle. And now 3, it highlighted iPhone 13. So what that means is that, okay, so, and we've copied one of it before. So we go into our elements and add that one. So we can say results header is this. Now we have a problem here. The inner quotes, and the problem is caused by the fact that the inner and the outer quotes are the same. So how do we deal with this? One way to deal with this is put a backslash behind the inner quotes, right? And it works. So let's get the next code. The next one is the item header. That is the item that we searched for. And we only need to change this one to 3. So we explained earlier that you can put a backspace behind to address it, or you change the inner quotes or the outer quote into a single quote. But in a JSON syntax, you cannot change the outer quote, because a JSON syntax must strictly get a double quote in its syntax. So if you remove this and put a single quote, you would run into an error. So it's better you change the one inside, and both of them would work. So we have the result header and the item header. So what do we want to do now? We want to get the text in it and verify the item in it. So what this means at every point in time is, if we change the text here, let's say to Ferrari, right? And we search, the results for still remains the same, only the item changed, but it's still the same identifier, right? If I come here now, you see that Ferrari will be highlighted. See, Ferrari is still highlighted because it's still the same identifier. So those things will remain the same, only the text inside would be different. So what does that tell us? That tells us that we can create a custom command for it. So how do we create that custom command? We will use an implicit wait in this case, because we will not be able to use the cy command with the should. And you will get the logic now. So let me just, to make this faster, let me quickly copy a command here. Yes, let me copy this command, and let me get here and paste. So the first thing is I need to change the name of this command to verify results set for, let's just verify result set. Now, as it is, we are still going to be using the fixtures folder because we have some things in the elements, right? Now, what do we need to search for here? At first, we need to search for the result header, because we want to verify what is inside it. So we search for the result header. But when we search for the result header, we can say it should be visible, yes. So when it is visible, one other thing is we need to get the text in it. So in order to get the text in it, inside it, in order to get the text inside it, we will use the invoke command, because this invoke would trigger any attribute inside. So now it has triggered the attribute inside this element result header for us. It has triggered the attributes inside this span for us. And one of the things inside the span is a text, right? Now, if you want to use this invoke to get a text from tags, there are some conditions you have to observe. If that tag is an input, or if that tag is a text area, the way to get a text from it is different. you have to get that, you have to invoke a value because those ones uses value. But if you're getting a text from any other type of tag, maybe it's a div, a span, a button, you will use text. You won't use value. So do not forget that. So with that being said, let us invoke that text. So it means it has collected the text inside that tag for us, right? It has collected the text inside the tag for us. But how do we now access the text? We create a then function. And inside the then function, we'll put a variable text. Let's bring this down because this is too long. So, and we'll also do this. Don't forget that we've created an inner function. So everything now means that in the result header, we are verifying that it should be visible, but we are collecting all the text inside it. And inside it, let's give it a new name here. Let's say new value, right? So we are putting everything inside the new value. Okay. So now what do we want to do? We want to verify what's inside the new value. So it means we have to first make sure that this new value that is just hanging somewhere can be assigned to a variable. I like this auto suggest. Let me just go with it. So we assign it to a variable. We store this value inside the result. So using the expect syntax, we say expect. That means we want to verify it. Expect result to include results for. Is that what is there? To include results for. So what we've done so far, let us try to test it. Before we do that, we have not finished. So we can carry verify result set and put it here in the it block and say cy dot verify result set. Now, do we have an element to return? Do we have an argument with it? Let's check. No arguments yet. So let's check this and see. Verify result set and see if it will work. So let us run the integration. Notice, I think it still be fast because of all this. Oh yes, it is still fast. And it is loading all the result sets. And as you can see, it worked. And it's quite fast with it. It's checked if this result for is included, and it is included. So we are good. So the next thing is we need to verify if Ferrari 2 is also returned, right? So I think it's at this point, if we intend to continue to use this, which I intend to use, we need to pass an argument. Because why do we need to pass an argument? We need to pass an argument because we don't want to do a specific verify results set for Ferrari, another one for iPhone, and another one for Google Pixel 6. So let's just do just one generic one. So let's pass this. So majority of the things that we have here will probably be repeated. Do you understand? Now, why will it be repeated? It will be repeated because we will be essentially looking for another we'll be looking for another another element, web element locator, and when we get that web element locator, we will just, when we get the web element locator, which means the item header, when we get the item header, what we will do with the item header is we'll check if it is visible, we'll get the text in it and verify that that text is equal to maybe Ferrari or iPhone or anything. So it will be equal to the item that we passed in here, right? So which means we have modified our command to have an argument. An argument that we want to check here is what? Location, look Ferrari. I'm not so great at giving the right names to these things, so please bear with me. So let us run this. If it works, it means by next class I would have populated it into the other codes. So let's see if it will verify the results for and also verify that Ferrari is also returned. If this works, then this is okay for us. But do remember that there are no two ways to write codes. You might see somewhere else, or you might learn another approach to verifying those two texts, right? But I just like to go the easiest way so you guys can have a better understanding. So now that it works, I will just populate it into the other side of the code and see you in the next class. Like I said, I'm going to add some link in the description for you to understand how to identify elements better, and when you see some particular